Good morning, my YouTube beauties. So, something my father said years ago, and it always remains true, no matter how old I am. And he always said, it's not about what you do, it's how much you're pulling down. And we live in a society where, and I'm guilty of it too, we look down at certain job titles. Because naturally, nobody says when I grow up, I want to be a janitor or I want to be a security guard. But those jobs actually pay more than an assistant teacher or a social worker or like the jobs that we respect and look up to. A lot of those jobs don't pay, but the jobs that do pay are what we call, some people feel like they too good for the jobs. So I just came from my training class. Well, I found out I didn't even have to take the class. Hopefully he's right, because normally those of y'all who've done security, you're supposed to do an 8-hour annual every year. My license expired 3 years ago. So yeah, all the jobs that we look up to, like even like 911 operator, for instance, ain't no money in that. Like, it's benefits and stuff, but people assume because it's the police department you making money, or even police officer, depending on what state you live in, it ain't no money. Like in NYPD, you see the real paper when you a detective or a lieutenant. My uncle did that. So when you starting off, it's like, it's decent pay, don't get me wrong, but you don't see the real paper until you bump up to detective, lieutenant, stuff like that. So we've been brainwashed, all of us, to think that, oh, you know, that's how, like my son, he want to go to college. He's like, well, I have to go to college because how am I going to get a job? Like, no, you're a good test taker. Yeah, so I'm like, well, my son, he's a good test taker. I'm like, you're a great test taker. You can take a city test and be all right. Like me, I suck at tests. Like city tests, I failed all. So it ain't for me, right? So yeah, and just in general, you have to take tests. Even with security, it's a test. Becoming a para is a test. So that was easy, you know. But like I cannot sit for 3 hours and take a test. I fall asleep. Like school safety, and I'm glad they didn't pick me, because school safety, you just sit there, you know. Like with security, sometimes, yeah, you just sit there, but they're not really expecting you to do anything. School safety, it might be, like, they talk so much in the damn show. But I'm like, yeah, so janitor makes 32 an hour. Paras don't make shit. Like I tell anybody, it's okay to get your feet wet if that's what you into. But for me, I didn't know nothing. This bitch is yelling. I never understand one thing, why they God allow people to be so loud. Like, you got sea otters, you got lions, but humans are loud. Like, you could literally hear a human from like feet and feet away. Like, damn, there's a lady preaching, and it's like, I swear that's a mental illness. It has to be. And the older I get, just switching topics for a second, there's no difference between a religious person who's trying to force you to go to church and a club goer. There's literally no difference. Like, my homegirl, well, old coworker, that's addicted to partying, she will literally curse me out and threaten me. She doesn't do it now, but she would do that to try to get me to come to a party. And I'm like, dude, I'm going one particular time. I'm like, dude, I'm going to AC, like, to see Lil' Kim and them. She like, fuck you, bitch. Like, what? Like, obviously, yes, I'm gonna go to AC and see Lil' Kim and them. You know, it was Remy Ma, it was Dipset. Like, of course I'm gonna choose that over a party. Like, who's not gonna do that? And then, like, my other old coworker, he had begged me to go because he didn't want to go by himself. His mom watched my son, like he was fiending to go. I was like, I seen Lil Kim before, but whatever. He provided childcare, so we was good. Like, I felt the energy, because usually I never let like strangers watch my child, but she was good and my son liked her, because that's what I go by. Like, okay, if my child like you, whatever. Like, even like my good friend, we became very fast friends, and she said that she was like, let your son come over, meet my family. And yeah, she also watched him for my 29th birthday when I was going through it and stuff. She was like, you need to enjoy your birthday, whatever. And my son, he tell me, so. But yeah, so his mom had watched my son, and we went, and she cursed me out, whatever, and I was cursing her right back out. And then like even till today, like she like called me on a Sunday morning 9 a.m. about a party. I'm like, bro, I'm sleeping. Like, if I don't have like something to do, I'm sleeping. Like, if I'm not going to work, or like today I went to the security training, I'm asleep straight up and down, right? But I digress. But yeah, so people look down at jobs like janitor, and it's like, oh, but they actually make good money. Like for the DOE, they make $32 an hour. Who would have thought, right? But you gotta be like cleaning up after people. I can't do that. Like, I will not clean up. Like I clean up after myself. I don't even clean my sunroom. Finally, he took initiative and he cleaned his room. Cause I would tell him every day, like, yo, clean your room, bro. Like, and he's like, I can't find this. I said, cause you're unorganized. And I told him time and time again. So I'm happy he finally listened to me, and that's important. And that's the thing with kids. Like, sometimes it feel like they not listening, but they do, But so my son wants to go to college because naturally his mother, me, I'm a college graduate. His grandmother is a college graduate. She graduated from Yale University with a business degree, and she caking it, So his aunt has her PhD. She's a professor at a college. So he's surrounded by positivity as far as college graduates, minus me. I'm the I'm the example of just, it is so loud. Like, it is so loud out here. It's so annoying. But yeah, so I would tell kids, like, go to trade. Like, he's like, oh, I want him to be like my cousin. It's not that I want him to be like my cousin. It's just, I don't want him to I don't want him to waste time. I don't want him to be like me. And I'm going back to security because the jobs I've been offered pay less than security. Like, I left security because it's like, oh, that's not a real job. Yes, the fuck it is. It's paying real bills. It got a real union, right? Like, and I think about it all the time. Like, I left World Trade Center at that time because minimum wage, if y'all old heads, minimum wage used to be $7.25, right? So I was getting $17 an hour back then, right? I come to DOE, the money is low. You gotta work with special kids, right? And it's like not worth it. It's really not. Like, the only way it's worth it is if you become a teacher or a janitor. Like, I push that all the time. You don't work for the DOE, become a teacher. And for me, it's not for me because I only wanted to become a teacher at one point because the pay is good. That's not a good reason. They go through a lot. Like, the curriculum is horrible. No matter how great, like, the grade it is, And even if the thing that sucks is like, if you're a general ed teacher, you're always forced to work with a special ed kid, and it's not fair. And I actually work with 2 teachers right now, and the whole building is like they like, you work with them, girl, good luck, because they every time a special ed kid come in the room, they on the phone. Even like, it's funny because one of the teachers, she's just so hilarious to me, because I feel like she's my alter ego in so many ways, because see, I know how to, my personality, I'm a team player. I can't help it. I'm a team player. I don't care what job I have. I'ma just roll with the punches. And I think that comes from being a black woman. Like, that's all we know how to do is roll with the punches. We get pregnant, roll with the punches. We right? We lose our job, roll with the punches. Anything we go through, we're just taught to roll with the punches. So with her, she just doesn't know how to do that, and she's never had to do it. She got her certifications and license in special ed, and she is a special education teacher, but she don't like dealing with it. She will make that phone call. I'm a blunt person, but she is like me times 10. She actually told the principal, why is this child in my room? It was hilarious, and I was like, I'm gonna take the little girl for a walk. And she calmed down. Like, I already knew, and I told her, I said, you know, you have kids like her times 5 in other districts such as Brownsville. She's like, what? Oh my God. Girl, you've been doing this for how long, and you didn't know? Like, this is what it comes with. Like, and she's not a new teacher, so it's just hilarious. But I do feel bad for her because she did not sign up for that. And it is annoying. It is. If you don't sign up for something, but then you got to deal with it. But that's just life. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't sign up to be a mom, but hell, I am one. And everybody say, like my cousin, she's like, oh, you're such a good mom. I said, to God be the glory. I give him all the praise and the honor, because I did not want children. And the fact that I'm a good mom, trust me, it's a miracle, because this is not what I wanted, but I roll with the punches. And my son is a great kid, and it's not because of me. He chooses to be a good kid. Like, people don't choose the kids that they have. You got kids that's like, you can't take them nowhere, no behavior, and that's not the parents' fault. We all have. So yeah, my son, and plus the school he goes to, they've been pushing college since he was in elementary, so it's been brainwashed and embedded in his head, just like it was brainwashed and embedded in my head. And I decided to finish, honestly, because I just didn't want to be a dropout. You know, I felt like it's bad enough I'm from the hood, it's bad enough I'm black, it's bad enough I'm a single mother. I didn't want to add college dropout to that too. Like, I was like, you know what? It's not crazy, and that's another thing I wanted to say. Not all schools are expensive. You know, that's the narrative that goes around. But you honestly have to find a school that you could afford. Mercy College, I was able to afford it. I went, and I have no loans. People like, how is that possible? So instead of taking out a loan, I paid it off. A lot of people, what they do is they take 3 and 4 vacations a year. And I'm not, that's not a bad thing. But if you got money for that, you could pay off your tuition, right? I'm a type of person, I'll go on 1 trip for the year and I'm okay. I don't have to go on multiple trips a year to be happy, So, that's what I did. And I'm loan, I'm debt free. I get all these emails. I'm like, I didn't have to take out loans, thank God. Mercy College was very affordable. Also, Yale University is affordable. They have scholarships. I was looking it up. Like, my son, I would rather my son to go to Yale University or St. John's University is another good one. I got accepted to St. John's. Or even my school, affordable. My school was kind of whack. Like, my school was like PWI. They had a lacrosse. Yo, they don't got no basketball. Like, they got lacrosse though. Like, so it's like, yeah, Yankee all the way. So it's a Yankee school. Like, it's, they just be going through the light like it's alright. And I hear an ambulance truck, and I'm like, is it coming this way? Like, New York City. It's so loud. I really cannot see myself living here as an old woman. I just pray. Yeah, so my final thoughts and what I wanted to say is, don't let people put you down for your job occupation. People gonna have their opinion because we all been brainwashed. A lot of people don't want to admit it. From economics to religion to everything, it's all a certain amount of brainwash. But it takes yourself to know what you want, right? So I will urge that. And it's funny because when I went to Workforce One 2 months ago, I went to Workforce One 2 months ago, and the guy actually kept it real with me, and it was the funniest. Like, we both was laughing together, and he was like, yo, you are funny. I'm like, yo, this interview is just so funny because he was so transparent with me, and he didn't have to be. He was like, yo, so I think you should be supervisor because you got 4 years under your belt, and I could tell, like, nonsense. However, case manager, it ain't no money. Like, you gonna have to do paperwork on top of paperwork. It's only paying $20 an hour. Like, supervisor, you got 25, and then it's gonna keep going up because of security. This job, case manager, like, you need your bachelor's, you got your bachelor's, but he's like, yo, I'm just throwing it out there. If you still want to do the case managing thing, cool. But so I was like, naturally, I didn't want to go back to security because that's not, like, I have my bachelor's, right? Why not use it? But then I go on an interview. They hired me on the spot. They say, we're going to email you the paperwork for the background processing, all this, whatever. Date is September 14th. I've yet to receive any email. I'll call the lady over and over again. She's like, she has to talk to HR. And it's like, I never went through that. Usually when you get hired for a job, that's it. Like, they call you. They on top of you. You shouldn't be chasing them. So it was just weird. And he was like, well, I don't know, but I told you about the, and it's just crazy because I could have been, started the supervisor position. I could have been started because to renew my license is only 2 to 6 weeks, right? So if I met him in July. If I would have did the process, I would have been a supervisor already, making 25, you know what I'm saying? So I said all that to say this. Go where the money at. And those are my thoughts.